की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। यमुना मय की जय। गंगा मय की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि
हरि
वृंद की
जय।
all glories to assembled devotees.
हरे
All
कृष्ण
glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे
All
कृष्ण
Guru and Lord.
हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
Vivek Prabhu.
Thanks, Rajesh Nair Prabhu and Dipti Mataji for such a nice group puja, and we just felt that we are directly in temple in the morning. So it was very nice and blissful for all the devotees who really woke up in the morning 5 a.m. and I can see still we have 109 devotees present in this meeting. So it's a really blissful start of the Sunday. So now I would request Arvind Prabhu to take the charge and proceed with the Bhagavatam class.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Vivek Prabhu. Thank you very much. My phone is not, charger went off. Thanks for all the devotees who have joined for today's program. I think Radha Parishwara also I could see their darshan. So I'm able to see a few devotees from Paris here. So is it possible to have darshan of Parishwara? They actually showed the darshan, but we didn't notice. So if it is possible still, then it would be nice to have their darshan. They showed when we were singing at the Govindam Adi Purusham. That time I could see Radha Parishishwara. If anyone could, still they are there.
Hare Krishna, I think looks like they are still there, Madi. If you can spotlight, Vivek Prabhu.
Yeah. Prabhu, can you spotlight them?
Yeah, 1 minute.
We are a bit late, 8:15 now, but still it's okay. We will take darshan.
So I have now spotlighted Radha Parisheshwara.
Okay, Hari Bol. We can see Jagannath Baldev.
Hare Krishna Mataji, he is actually not from, he is currently in Bangladesh, but he preaches in France. That's why he put his name as Radha Parisheshwara.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, anyway, nice to see darshan. Is it from temple or is it from his home, Prabhu's home?
His home, Mataji. He's currently in Bangladesh right now.
Okay. Jai Jagannath Baldev
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Radha Parishishwar name, yes, put Shri Radha Parishishwar ki jai. You can see the picture. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, Prabhupada ki jai. So very nice. Thank you all for joining today for the morning program. So we will continue with the Bhagavatam class. Today, for a change, the class will be given by Arvind Prabhu. So I will do the Jayarada Madhav and then Prabhu will join. Yes. So give me just 1 second. I think Prabhu already joined, so I'll just get it done. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayodara Madhava Kunjabihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Gauranikai Jaya Gauranikai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Shila Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Shri Radha Madhav Ashta Sakhi Vrinda ki jai. Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, yeah. We'll start. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. We're going to read from Madhya Lila, chapter 4. Madhavendra Puri's pure devotional service. In case you have it. Right. Gopala kahe Puri amara tapana hi aya malaya ja chandana lepa tabe se judaya. Gopal, the deity of Gopal kahe said, Puri, my dear Madhavendra Puri. Amara, my tapa body temperature, nahi does not yaya go away, malaya ja chandan. Sandalwood produced in the Malaya hills, lepa smear over the body, tabe then say that Judaya cools. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. In his dream, Madhavendra Puri saw Gopal who said, my bodily temperature still has not decreased. Please bring sandalwood from the Malaya province and smear the pulp over my body to cool me. Purport. The deity of Gopal had been buried in the jungle for many years, and although he was installed and was offered thousands of pots of water, he still felt very hot. He therefore asked Madhavendra Puri to bring sandalwood from the Malaya province. Sandalwood produced in Malaya is very popular. That province is situated on the Western Ghat, and in the hill Nilagiri is sometimes known as Malaya Hill. The word Malaya Ja is used to indicate the sandalwood produced in Malaya province. Sometimes the word Malaya refers to the modern country of Malaysia. Formerly, this country also produced sandalwood, but now they have found it profitable to produce rubber trees. Although the Vedic culture was once prevalent in Malaysia, now all the inhabitants are Muslims. The Vedic culture is now lost in Malaysia, Java, and Indonesia. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prashanne Nirvisheshunyavadi Pashadi Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Srimad Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Hare. In his dream, Madhavendra Puri saw Gopal, who said, "My bodily temperature still has not decreased. Please bring sandalwood from the Malaya province and smear the pulp over my body to cool me." So, this particular chapter, what I'll do is, I'm going to read through some of the translations so you get a very clear it's a nice story, obviously, how Madhavendra Puri initially, he was inspired by Gopal deity to, if you see in Govardhana hill, there is, in the top of the hill, there is one particular temple they have, so the Gopal deity there was installed by Madhavendra Puri many years ago. So, and that's a separate pastime, how that happened. Now, this is the kind of second episode of this pastime where the Gopal is installed. They did big abhishek, they did lots of bhoga offering, and many village member devotees around the town, they all came and they did offering, big festival, they did a grand festival on installation of Gopal. Now that's done. Now the second episode is, we read today, is that now Gopal got everything, and now he is saying that his bodily temperature is not cooled down yet. So, and Prabhupada mentions in the purport, and it's in the previous sections of this chapter, that Gopal was actually buried in the, under the, he was basically buried in the sand down, so his body temperature was hot. He was feeling very hot, and that's how he got Madhavendra Puri got the dream that I'm so hot here, please take me out and, worship me, and, because someone has, this years ago it has happened, and now please take me out and worship. So now he's taken, all the worship is done. So what has happened is, Gopal is saying, my bodily temperature is still not decreased, so Gopal is saying, please bring sandalwood from the Malaya province and smear that sandalwood pulp over my body so that you can cool me down. Okay. So Madhavendra Puri has been hearing this conversation. And then Gopal is furthermore giving a further information. He's saying, bring the sandalwood pulp from Jagannath Puri. So he's saying, go quickly, you know, since no one else can do it, only you can do it. You must go. You know, Gopal is saying to Madhavendra Puri this. So Madhavendra Puri had this dream, and he became so happy. You know, he was in so much ecstasy. Imagine if Krishna comes in your dream and gives you some instruction, you know. So Madhavendra Puri is such a pure Vaishnava, you know. I mean, like, in fact, if you're aware of the Pampara, Madhavendra Puri is the, Prabhupada explains that Madhavendra Puri is the origin from whom the love of God started coming. The Gaudiya, Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So Madhavendra Puri became so ecstatic, and in order to execute the command, you know, he immediately started towards Bengal. So remember, okay, those days it's all walking, you know, so you're talking about months of walking to one place to another place. So now, before leaving Madhavendra Puri, obviously, you know, he has to make all the arrangements ready for Gopal in the local, you know, because he's not taking Gopal with him. Gopal will be there. He has to go and get the sandalwood. So before leaving Madhavendra Puri, you know, he made all the arrangements for all the deity worship, and he engaged various people around the town, you know, in various duties. And then, once that's done, he took the order. Okay, now let's go. You know, he started for Bengal. Now, in the journey towards Bengal, you know, he obviously crossed down various places. So when Madhavendra Puri arrived at the house of, while going through, he arrived at the house of Advaita Acharya. You know, it's in Santipur. So in Santipur, Advaita Acharya's house is there. Advaita Acharya has a house in Navadvip, Mayapur also. So he used to reside in these two places in different occasions. So Advaita Acharya's house, he arrived. Obviously, Advaita Acharya was so very, you know, in ecstasy seeing to Madhavendra Puri, because, you know, Madhavendra Puri, like I said, you know, he is the embodiment of love of God for our parampara system. Madhavendra Puri only injected this, you know. So obviously, Madhavendra Puri was, being the embodiment of love of Krishna, he was, you know, in so much ecstasy, he was going around. And when Advaita Acharya, as we all know, is a best incarnation of Lord Vishnu and Shiva combined, you know, when he saw Madhavendra Puri, he was in ecstasy. So Advaita Acharya was seeing Madhavendra Puri in such an ecstasy, he started begging Madhavendra Puri, please give me initiation, you know. You, after initiating me, you go. You know, don't go before that. So then obviously Madhavendra Puri took the request of Advaita Acharya, initiated, and then he started traveling. So Madhavendra Puri visited Remuna. You know, again, it's all is heading towards the journey. So Madhavendra Puri, after Santipur, he visited Remuna, and that's where he saw Gopinath. You know, so if you've been to Remuna before, we went once. In Remuna, you know, there is a beautiful Gopinath temple, and it's a very famous pastime, we all know, Kirchor Gopinath, you know. So he is the Gopinath where he stole that sweet rice. Now, this particular pastime we're going to read now is going to be around that. So upon seeing the beauty of the deity, you know, Madhavendra Puri was so overwhelmed, standing in the corridor of the temple where people generally gets to view the deity. If you remember, obviously, if you've been to the temple, you'll realize there's a corridor just before. From the corridor, you see the deities, basically. So in the people where we generally gather around, do kirtan and all that. So from there, he's viewing the Gopinath deity, and Madhavendra Puri was chanting, dancing, so much ecstasy there. And then he was sitting down there, And he was asking a Brahmana, like, okay, what kind of food do you generally offer to deities there? Because, Madhavendra Puri could see, that, he could see that the service offered there was of super excellence, So Madhavendra Puri had this inclination in his heart, I want to follow the similar standard for my Gopal deity, So he was inquiring to learn some secrets. So he was asking the Brahmanas there. So, understanding only the best food and the best offerings can be done there. He asked, Madhavendra Puri was asking the Brahmanas, and he was thinking, I shall inquire from the priest what food are generally offered to Gopinath, so that, he can do a similar arrangement, for Gopal. So when the Brahmana was questioned like that way, as to what you offer, then Brahmana said, in the evening, the deities are offered sweet rice in 12 earthen pots, 12 pots, that small earth pot, mud pots. And he was saying, the Brahman was saying, because the taste of those offerings are so sweet, we call it as Amrita Keli, nectar, and this sweet rice is celebrated throughout the world as Gopinath Kheer. It is not offered anywhere else in the world. So like this, the Madhavendra Puri was talking with the priest, and the sweet rice was placed before the deity for offering. Hearing this offering, only Madhavendra Puri was thinking, if without my asking, Madhavendra Puri is thinking, if without my asking a little sweet rice can be given to me, I can then taste it and make a similar preparation to offer to Gopal. So, but while he was thinking, Madhavendra Puri became so ashamed, he was feeling that, how can I think? How can I think about tasting a sweet rice when Krishna is honoring it, enjoying the bhoga, So Madhavendra Puri, while he was thinking of this, he felt so ashamed, and he immediately, he was thinking this, and then during that time, the offering was completed, and they started Arati. So he was thinking, while this was going, offering finished, Arati started. So once the Arati finished, Madhavendra Puri simply paid obeisances and immediately left the temple. He did not say anything to anyone. He just left. He generally, Madhavendra Puri is a sannyasi. So generally they beg for food. They beg for prasadam. They don't just go and earn for it. So because he felt he made an offense, he stopped begging. He was completely detached from everything, and he was like, if someone gives me, I will eat. If not, I'm not going to beg, He said, I will fast. So in this way, he was very much, just by remembering Krishna, he was happy, and he didn't bother any of this normal, thirst, hunger humans get. So since, when he desired that to taste that sweet rice, he considered that he committed an offense by desiring to eat. So Madhavendra, that's why he left the temple, sat down in some village marketplace, where no one sees him. He was somewhere there, and he was chanting, thinking of that. And during that time in the temple, what's happening is the Brahmanas were putting the deities to rest, after all the daily duties, night, putting them to sleep. And then what happened? The priest, he went to take rest for continuing his service tomorrow. Then during that time, he got a dream, Gopinath deity. So the Gopinath came to his dream and told, hey priest, get up, open the temple door. I have kept one pot of sweet rice for the sannyasi, Madhavendra Puri. And he said, it is just behind the cloth curtain only. You did not see that because I tricked and kept it inside. I kind of hid it behind. So, and then he said, see, the sannyasi name is Madhavendra Puri. He's sitting in some marketplace there alone. You first take this sweet rice by opening the curtain behind me, take it, go and give it to him. Then this priest, he woke from the dream. Immediately he woke from the dream. He knew that, because he's he is worshipping Gopinath deity personally. He knows, Gopinath has given me some instruction. Immediately rose from the bed, took bath. Okay, see, Brahmanas, they are so pure, Even entering the temple before middle of the night, he went, took bath and went to the temple. Maybe we would be sitting and bargaining. Do I just do achaman or maybe put some water here, there, walk inside, something like that, Imagine the standard, Immediately, boom, went, took shower, he entered the temple room, opened the temple door, and that was true, like deity said, he opened the curtain and he saw the prasadam was there. He took the sweet rice, he removed the pot, and he mopped the place where it was kept. He then went out of the temple, all pakka in beauty. He took the mop, clean everything, and then he took the offering. And then obviously he closed the temple door and everything so the Gopinath can take rest. And then he went to the village. The village marketplace. Generally, if you maybe in your place you may recognize and remember. The marketplace where generally they sell things, fruit, vegetable, in the, all these farmers, generally they come, in one big marketplace every day or every once a week, they come and put and they sell. So Madhavendra Puri is sitting in one vacant place, where no one is there. He's simply sitting there and chanting in one of those big marketplaces. So this priest, he went to that place. And then holding a pot of sweet rice, he started calling out, hey, who? Madhavendra Puri, who is this person? Please come and take this pot. Gopinath has stolen this sweet rice for you. And he's keep on calling, hey, sannyasi, Madhavendra Puri, come, take this sweet rice, enjoy the prasadam. You are such a most fortunate person in these three worlds. Gopinath has done this, stolen this sweet rice for you. So there's Madhavendra Puri sitting in the marketplace chanting. Who is this guy in the middle of the night calling my name? So he came out and saw that same priest, with the pot. He identified. He came out, identified. The priest also identified. Oh, you. Okay. Then they both saw each other. He gave the sweet rice in his hand and he paid obeisances to the sannyasi, flat falling at his feet. Because the priest knew, hey, if Gopinath deity is stealing sweet rice for you, you are not a normal person. And he just, fell flat at his feet taking blessings. And what happened? And then obviously the priest explained the whole story to Madhavendra Puri. This is what I got dream and Gopinath asked me to do this. And obviously, imagine you are like, someone knocks your door, gives you a sweet rice, hey, yesterday I had a dream, Jagannath want me to give this to you. You would be like, what? You are saying to me or to everyone, no, it's for you. He told your name. He wants to give this to you. So I'm here delivering it. Imagine how much happy we'll be. Like, oh, you'll be obviously very happy. Oh, I'm so blessed, Imagine Madhavendra Puri, such a pure devotee. He was like jumping in ecstasy and crying and rolling in love of God. And seeing all this, the priest was like very much, amazed. He's saying, wow, because the priest knows that, only person who has love of God can exhibit these symptoms, what he was doing. Then, the priest saw all that, so amazed. Then he thought, no wonder Krishna stole these things for him. He was so much convinced, why this person is eligible to be having this blessing. And then this priest again offered dandavats to Madhavendra Puri, he went back to temple. Then what happened? Madhavendra Puri got the sweet rice, obviously, and then he started honoring them, grain after grain, slowly, he was like literally honoring them to, and his intention was, he was honoring to see that, okay, how they made this preparation so that I can do something very similar to my Gopal. So he was, he honored the whole sweet rice, and then he washed the pot, and then he broke the pot into pieces, and then he kept them with him, all those pots, all the broken pieces. Okay. Then what happened was, then each day Madhavendra Puri would eat one piece of that mud pot. And after eating that, he would immediately, obviously, again feel ecstatic. So he was not eating the sweet rice alone, the mud pot also. So, because he broke that into hundreds of pieces, so he was like having them every single day. So he tied in his cloth. So it is his, what you say, he was having it like every single day, So the Lord gave me Madhavendra Puri was thinking, the Lord has given me a pot of sweet rice. Now if people get to know all this, imagine if everyone gets to know this tomorrow, there will be loads of people coming to me and taking blessings, and I'll become so famous, it will disturb everything. So immediately Madhavendra Puri, what he did? He paid obeisances on the spot and ran away from Ramuna by next morning. You see? Imagine if it was us. We would be like, oh, devotee may come and say, oh, what do I reply? Oh, maybe, actually, I'm very fallen soul. I don't know why it happened to me, and then we would be like mental hallucination only, putting ourselves in a very humble position, and, next day, day after day, glorification will come, and we will be like, no, I'm very fallen. By mercy of all the devotees, I got it. We hear this now on birthdays. The devotee becomes a real devotee on birthday only, because everyone is glorifying. So it's not difficult to be a good devotee on birthday, isn't it? So that's why Prabhupada says, sadhu, a devotee is tested when there are provoking situation, when things are very provoking around you, people are criticizing, finding fault at you, imagine you put all the hard work, and devotees come and find fault at you for no reason, you see. And then imagine everyone around you gets prasadam delivered, and they are very much taken care, and you are like totally ignored. No one even bothers whether you are alive only. Okay. And you're thinking like, hey, I have given so much of my life and service for these people. Maybe last 2-3 months I was not possible to do why they are like this, So what happens? Very provoking. Everything is provoking around us. We are doing sometimes preaching, and there is some other devotee in the 2-3 doors away or one street away does another preaching. And he is doing so nice preaching, all the devotees are going there only. Okay, and my preaching venue is empty. Then immediately you think, hey, what is this? I'm preaching for the last 5 years, 6 years, I'm doing a Bhakti Vriksha program. I'm senior here. In fact, I only made him a leader and he's sitting there. And everyone is going there and no one is attending my program. What is going on? And this devotee who became a new leader, he out of enthusiasm went and started preaching, and no one is, giving respect to this devotee also. So like this, so many provoking situation. I want to do service to Krishna, and this is like headache only. I would, and then you have another bunch of devotees walking around. I would rather not do service and simply chant Hare Krishna, It's more peaceful. What is this? These are devotees or what? You know, normal materialistic, my career, work person is very friendly than this guy. And then, left, right, center. You know, we slash and slaughter people like anything, mentally speaking. You know. So what happens? So many provoking situation. Then only comes real sadhu comes out. We are like true devotee now. Then Krishna will think, see, that is why I don't do many things for you. Okay, if you are like Madhavendra Puri, I will steal things for you and deliver everything to you. But you are opposite. So this is why, that's why birthday celebration, everyone is a nice devotee. Okay, but after celebration, you will see that here, you will think, hey, I didn't know he is a devotee,
Hare Krishna, Konika Mataji, একটু বাংলা ট্রান্সলেশন করলে ভালো হতো না? একটু বাংলা আমরা তো বুঝতেছি না ভালো মতো, ইংলিশ তো এরকম আমরা জানি না, একটু বাংলা যদি ট্রান্সলেশন করতে হতো তাহলে শুনতে পারতাম।
Krishna Mataji, Bina Mataji. Sorry, Aurobindo Prabhu, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Sorry Mataji, আসলে ইংলিশ ক্লাস, এখানে আসলে এখন বাংলায় ট্রান্সলেশন করা সম্ভব না।
Okay,
next time.
So next time we're going to talk to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Maybe we provoke that Mataji, see, that's the problem. We need to be careful.
Sorry about that, Prabhu. Sorry.
Yes. So, anyway, I forgot. Okay, let's continue. So, walking and walking. Krishna said, enough of talking, do talk about me, Okay, I will continue now. So, what is happening is, what is that? Yes. So, Madhavendra Puri immediately paid obeisances, left Ramana, is saying, I don't want any glorification. I don't want any of these people. Okay. For him, glorification was provoking situation. And no wonder in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, for sense gratifiers, night is day. What is that? How do I say this? You have sense gratificatory people and you have devotees. Okay, self-realized souls. So Krishna says, for a self-realized soul, night is like day, or day is like night. I don't know. Anyway, choose something you want. Night is like day, and for sense gratifying people, it's the opposite. Day is like night. So like that, both of them have different perceptions of truth. So similarly, Madhavendra Puri being a self-realized soul, glorification is provoking for him. Saying, don't want any glorification. And for sense gratifiers, glorification is what all I want. So it's like a two world for us. No wonder, we are here in this world suffering like anything day in and day out. So what happened? Madhavendra Puri next day left Ramuna and he reached Jagannath Puri. Remember, that was Gopal's order. He has to be going to Jagannath Puri. So obviously Jagannath Puri is also called Nilachal. So where he saw Lord Jagannath, and obviously seeing Jagannath, he was in utter ecstasy, exhibiting all those great symptoms. He was overwhelmed in love of God. He was laughing, crying, rolling in the ground, you name it, all those stuff, you see. So he was in such an ecstasy, So what happened? Looks like when I was reading this, I was thinking, on those days there was no WhatsApp, no Facebook, nothing, But imagine what happened is, what's mentioned here is, by the time Madhavendra Puri went to Jagannath Puri and he started doing all this, everyone in the town got to know that this Madhavendra Puri is a great soul. And crowds of people came and offered him all respects and, you name it, so much devotion. They were, so much worshipping him. So I was wondering, how is this possible, because nowadays WhatsApp, you communicate very quickly. Those days, nothing. By the time he went Puri, everyone knew what he was, who he was. Okay. So, but yes, so what happened is, Madhavendra Puri's, and here Prabhupada is explaining, Madhavendra Puri's reputation and glory was not like some material glories, like a materialistic fame and name and fame. This is a very transcendental spiritual glory. So Prabhupada is saying the transcendental reputation, name and fame is obviously so spiritual, it gets distributed throughout the entire world and the universe. Because it's not done by WhatsApp and Facebook. Krishna does it as Paramatma. Make everyone realize who is this person. So Paramatma is a little faster than WhatsApp and Facebook, you see. So when because it's a spiritual, the glory of Madhavendra Puri is pure devotees from a spiritual platform. It's not some material name and glory. So hence the reason Madhavendra Puri's name and fame was like without any effort, he is trying to run away from everything, and Krishna is chasing him like anything to make sure that he gets glorified and worshipped. Okay. And okay, so what happened that, you see Madhavendra Puri, he was so afraid of this pratishtha, reputation and name and fame, and he ran away from Ramuna. But Prabhupada is explaining that the reputation, the name and fame one gets due to love for Krishna. Okay. He's saying that is so sublime that it goes along with the devotee as if it is following him like a shadow. Do you understand? Sometimes name and fame, we go to some new place and they say, Prabhu, can you introduce yourself? No one knows about you. And then, we start putting as much as the biggest, best chosen leelas of our life, our thought process, our glories. We make it and paragraph nicely, write it, and then we present, my name is this, I am that, and then we start presenting it in such an amazing, humble way. All our glories, okay? But even then, all these devotees are so nuts and bolts, they don't understand. You see, they don't understand how big I am, how glorious I am. So what happens? We don't get the respect we are looking for. But what happens, Madhavendra Puri's story was opposite. He didn't put any effort. He's running away from this name fame story. But this reputation came not because of his qualifications on a material platform, because of his love for Krishna. That name and fame was purely connected in that way. So due to his love for Krishna, he was famous. Not because of anything else. So what happened, Prabhupada is explaining, Madhavendra Puri was wondering like, yeah, I'm running from city to city, town to town, and I don't know how people are getting to know these stories. And Prabhupada is explaining that no one needs to promote this. Wherever Madhavendra Puri is going, just like a shadow is following him, his name and fame is getting automatically glorified, just because, Madhavendra Puri, wherever he goes, he cannot stop himself from exhibiting his love for Krishna. Then naturally, people around him are amazed. Like, wow, who is this person? And then they naturally fall in love with him. So in that way, you cannot escape. A pure devotee cannot escape from getting name, fame, glory. You may try whatever way you want, but what to do? Because of his behavior, he naturally attracts all the name, fame, followers, everything. You see? So then immediately what was Madhavendra Puri wanted to leave Jagannath Puri now. I'm saying I'm leaving Puri now. Because the people were honoring massive. Again, he's a great devotee, and this was, but this one, the problem is it was hindering his service, which is to collect sandalwood for his deity. Okay. So what happened? He wants to run away from Puri now, but he wants to run away with the sandalwood because Gopal wants the sandalwood. So he immediately told all the servants of Jagannath there, and and the story of Gopal, how he appeared, how special he is. Okay, and when all the Jagannath Puri Pandas and devotees understood, okay, hey, this Gopal is a special, special deity, Krishna himself, then immediately they arranged all this sandalwood. Okay, and they put all packed together. And but those days you should remember, you need to know there are, this, when I say it's not like Krishna time, okay, these are all, you're talking about somewhere around last 500,000 years maybe. So there were obviously government officers, rules and regulations, tax collection, everything was there. So what happened was that, Madhavendra Puri has to go through so many difficulties to cross from one border to another border, because he has to pay tax and he has to fill so many documentations. When I say documentations, it's their own style of documentation which needs to be reported for taking so much sandalwood, camphor, all those products, On those days only trading has happened. Imagine, Madhavendra Puri was doing a big time trading business. Brexit problem, I don't know, something like that, He was just doing trading without any issues there. So, and he took all the camphor, sandalwood, okay. And then the Jagannath Puri Pandas, they even gave him a servant. They gave him one servant, one Brahmana, so that they can carry all this, because it was like 40-50 kgs of sandalwood. Okay, it's like you going to India with 2 luggages if you're going in Air India, basically. In Air India, they give, I think, 25 kgs per luggage, 2 pieces per head. So you get 50 kgs. But the sad news is they didn't have trolley bags that time. I'm assuming that. Maybe they had I don't know, maybe they should have trolley maybe, but it should have been the other day, the old days maybe. Not like the current version trolley bags which you have in Heathrow Airport. So imagine, I was thinking when I was reading this 50 kg sandalwood, I thought, oh, okay, that's not bad. It's not too heavy, Just put 2 trolley bags and we can just keep pulling the trolley towards Vrindavan maybe. Then when I figured out, oh, no, they don't have trolley those days in terms like, American tourister bag or something like that, So 50 kgs, they need to pack it in whatever way possible, and they were taking it. Okay, like I said, they need to pass through all the toll collectors. Many papers needs to be released for the government officers. Okay, and this way Madhavendra Puri went through all the headaches, to Vrindavan. And you need to understand, just like, for example, it's nothing different than then now, if you want to trade things from one country to another, it's not as simple as you buy, oh yeah, give me this and you get it, There are so many political issues also, which is considered, which is not easy to transport or trade from one country to another. So many political things also needs to be considered. So similarly, when Madhavendra Puri was trading from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan, he has to go through so many political gundas and everything. Sandalwood you think is a cheap one? Even now, now it's like such a gold kind of product. Those days, 50 kgs of sandalwood, it's not a cheap product, where you can simply take and go. So on those days, imagine so many dacoits and gundas and all these people were all around. So, and Madhavendra Puri is a poor sannyasi. Okay, he didn't have any police officers or stuff like that working. He had one Brahmana and one servant. Imagine Brahmanas those days is like Sudama Vipra, very thin and stone cloth Brahmanas. What do you expect? He is not a gunda, someone has to assist him actually. So Madhavendra Puri had these 2 people going along, and he is taking such an expensive goods from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan, and for months he was traveling. If you're talking about months here, day and night he should have slept. He was sleeping in places where, like this marketplaces, and then you keep 50 kg sandalwood pulp there. You think it'll be magically sitting there only? In India, you don't need to ask what things happen, right? So there was no CCTV or something like that. So what happened to us? Madhavendra Puri needs to go through so many difficulties, to make sure this sandalwood will go safely without any issues, without harassing by the government officers is one thing, and secondly, no issues from this gundas and all these people. For months he has to take this very expensive product from one place to another. So Madhavendra Puri has to go through so many difficulties to make sure that whole thing is delivered. Okay. Now, obviously, again, he was following the same route. While he was going to Vrindavan, he again crossed through Gopinath, the Ramuna. Okay. So again, he reached the village of Ramina and the temple was there. He reached the temple, paid obeisances, he was in ecstasy dancing. And the priest of Gopinath saw Madhavendra Puri again, and obviously he gave him sweet rice and paid obeisances and all that. And he took rest that night. And towards the end of a night, he had another dream. Who? Madhavendra Puri. And what happened? Gopal came before him in the day in the dream and said, "Hey, Puri, Madhavendra Puri." Gopal said, "You see, I have received all the sandalwood and camphor." Where? In Vrindavan, he's saying. Okay, so he's saying, don't worry, don't bring it here. You just grind all the sandalwood and camphor in Ramuna itself and put it all to Gopinath only. Okay, you putting to Gopinath is equal to putting to me. There is no difference. Okay, by doing that, the end goal will be fulfilled, which is my body temperature will cool down. You remember? Madhavendra Puri took this project because Gopal was burning, inside, hot, so hot. So that's why he went and took, unfortunately there was no air conditioner maybe, He said, don't worry, no sandalwood. I'll put some air conditioner, pakka product, okay? It will stand for next many years. There was no air conditioner maybe. So he has to go to sandalwood pulp and get the whole thing. So now, but Gopal made this arrangement. He's saying, don't worry, don't struggle, because you see, this is what Prabhupada explains in the purport. Gopal was so much, Gopal in Vrindavan, his deity, he was so worried. Madhavendra Puri is going through so much, he is risking his life. You see, he's risking his life and doing all that. Because, those we all know, all these gundas and all, they don't go and do other transactions. They just kill the people, take the product, finished, If you remember the Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they went through the same thing, they were trying to kill Sanatana Goswami, right? Is it? Yeah, I think so anyway. They were trying to kill because he had some gold coin. And he said, forget, take the gold coin, let me leave the place. I don't want this gold coin. So they don't sit and do conversations with you. They just kill you and take the product. So Madhavendra Puri was literally risking his life day in and day out. So Gopal was very concerned that, I don't want him to go through so much. I don't want him to risk his life. So once he arrived in Ramuna, Gopal told, you see, enough is enough. You stay there. Put to Gopinath only. It's equal to me and my body will be cool and I will be very happy. Take this as my order. Don't hesitate and don't doubt in any ways. Okay. And then he told Madhavendra Puri that. So after that, Gopal disappeared and Madhavendra Puri woke up. And then obviously he was so happy. Oh, Gopinath, okay, let me worship you, And then Madhavendra Puri did that, he took the camphor, sandalwood, okay, and which he has bought for Gopal, and he every single day regularly he was applying that to the body of Gopinath, and by which he was there for a few days. I think he was there for weeks and months, where until the whole stock finished, he was applying and making sure Gopinath deity is fully cool and nice. Hence Gopal also was happy. Okay, and the servants of Gopinath were so happy. They were so happy. Nicely, our Gopinath is taken care by Madhavendra Puri, you know. So, because every day Madhavendra Puri was doing that. So he had those two assistants. You remember the Brahmins and other? They were grinding the sandalwood, camphor. They were assisting him in doing all that. And then he was asking, you know, what do you say? Madhavendra Puri was saying this Gopinath deity servants, you give me another two people also. And he said, I'll pay them salary. So imagine, Madhavendra Puri. Imagine those days, there was nothing like, you know, come and do service. It was a service only. He said, I'll pay them salaries. You know, I'll pay them salary, get me two more people. So Gopinath was supplied like that every single day. Nice sandalwood pulp, you see. And then until that time, he was there. And by the time summer finished, you see. And once summer finished, again, he went to Jagannath Puri, Madhavendra Puri, but this time he went for Chaturmasya. If you remember, summer finishes around June, July, like that, there, and then Chaturmasya starts. He went there, and there he went there to stay that 4 months. Okay. So like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, remember this Leela Mahaprabhu is, what you say? He was reciting this. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu is reciting all this, is sharing all this Leela of Madhavendra Puri, because Mahaprabhu went to Remuna, and in Remuna he was remembering, you know, was reciting, going through all those Leelas, you know, he was explaining how this whole thing happened. So because he went with the devotees, Mahaprabhu went with devotees, so he was sharing all this pastime. And so like that, you know, Mahaprabhu was just by reciting these Leelas, you know, he was in ecstasy. Nityananda Prabhu was there, you know, and he was asking Nityananda, you know, Mahaprabhu was asking Nityananda Prabhu, see, imagine, is there anyone in the world as fortunate as Madhavendra Puri? Can you think of, you know? Because he was saying Madhavendra Puri was so fortunate that Krishna was personally giving him milk. You know, he personally got orders from Krishna. Okay, and he did. Krishna did all this just because he was obliged. He was obliged for the love of Madhavendra Puri. You know, Madhavendra Puri's love was so attractive that, you know, Krishna personally has to serve Madhavendra Puri, you know. So to such an extent, even Gopinath was stealing the rice. Mahaprabhu is saying, you know, he's stealing the rice. He was called a skirchor, stealer of a thief, you know. And then Madhavendra Puri got the personal service of putting the sandalwood on Gopinath, you know. So in this way, Mahaprabhu is saying, see, exactly this is what. In the province of India governed by the Muslims, there was much inconvenience in traveling with sandalwood and camphor. Because of this, Madhavendra Puri might have gotten into trouble. This became known to the Gopal deity. Mahaprabhu is saying. But he was saying the Lord is very merciful and attached to his devotees. So when Gopinath was covered with sandalwood pulp, Madhavendra Puri's labor, hard work became successful. Okay, so Mahaprabhu placed the standard of Madhavendra Puri's intense love before Nityananda Prabhu. And he was saying, you know, give me a judgment. All his loving activities are so uncommon, you know. Indeed, I'm struck with wonder to hear these activities. And Mahaprabhu was continuing saying, Madhavendra used to remain so alone when he was completely renounced, always silent. He always lived without any companion. Okay. After receiving these glories of Gopal, this orders of Gopal, this great personality traveled thousands of miles just to collect sandalwood by begging, you know. Although Madhavendra Puri was hungry, he would not beg any food. So this renounced person carried a load of sandalwood pulp for Gopal without seeing any of his personal comfort. So Mahaprabhu is saying all this, Nityananda Prabhu, you know. So like I said, I was saying that Madhavendra Puri carried, you know, 42 pounds, you know, 42 pounds is like 2 mounds of that, you know. So he was smeared over the body of Gopal, and there were restrictions. Since there were restrictions taking sandalwood out of Orissa province, the toll official confiscated the stock. They took away the stock, you know. But Madhavendra Puri showed him the release papers given by the government and consequently escaped difficulties. So Madhavendra Puri was not at all anxious in any of this time, and he was bringing with so much, did not have any farthing of money, nothing, you know. He was not afraid. He just did this purely for the enjoyment of Gopal. So Mahaprabhu is explaining, this is surely only by the intense love of Godhead. Nothing else is possible, you know. He wants to serve his deity Gopal, and Gopal wants to show how much he loves Madhavendra Puri. So in this way, you know, Mahaprabhu was sharing all this. You know, he read through all these famous verses of Madhavendra Puri, you know, and then when he was reading all this, Mahaprabhu was in so much ecstasy, you know. He was constantly reciting the glories of Madhavendra Puri without stopping. Then obviously Mahaprabhu, by reciting about Madhavendra Puri, he became ecstasy and he fell down to the ground, unconscious. He was overwhelmed, okay, in ecstasy. And then Nityananda Prabhu has to quickly take him on the lap. You know, Mahaprabhu is crying, you know, and he's again got up, you know, with such an ecstasy, you know, and he started running here and there like a crazy man, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know, making all these crazy sounds, you know, laughing, crying, don't know what he was doing only, you know, and he could not recite even any more extra verses to glorify Madhavendra Puri and his deity. He was ecstatically crying and running everywhere. You know, he could not speak and tears were flowing in his eyes, trembling, perspiration. You know, he was shocked. His whole body was like so thin. He was so much morose, you know. They were experiencing separation. So, yeah. So like this, you know, Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy. And Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna himself. You know? So Madhavendra Puri is in ecstasy, crying for Krishna. Krishna is in ecstasy, crying for his devotee. Like this, they were, you know, purely swimming in an ocean of love of each other, you see. And in this way, it's mentioned here, one who hears this narration with faith and devotion, they will attain the treasure of love of Godhead at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So we hope and pray we all of us get some love for God. So in this way you can see that's the end of this chapter, Madhavendra Puri's love, pure devotion. So for Krishna. So in this way you can see the power of pure devotional service, you know, is such a transcendental, ecstatic activity where everyone gets an opportunity to dive deep and see. This is the, what do you say, this is the extent to which this Krishna consciousness can make you and Krishna so close. You see, this is the potency. Sometimes, you know, many of us chant Hare Krishna saying, hey, will my problem solve? Will my visa problem get over? Will I get job? Will my money come? Will I get money? Will my partner problem solve? Will we be happy together? Will my children pass 11 plus exam? They will go to a good grammar school? You know? I will not get corona. My friend will not get corona. My mommy, daddy, no corona. So, and Narsinga Kavach, every single prayer connected to Narsingadev. Narsingadev will be so happy. These idiots, at least let them chant my name now, at least, you know. They never even consider me at all. I need to throw some Corona version 1, version 2, version 3 to these guys to pray about to me. Idiots. So, what happens, we use Krishna consciousness for all these things, you know. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you heard this pastime, what Madhavendra Puri and Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. Same chanting Hare Krishna, same seva for Krishna deities, same bhoga offering, you name it, nothing different. You know? Madhavendra Puri didn't do something standing one leg amidst all the fire in summer, putting his head inside the cold water in winter. Nothing happened. All same. Whatever all of us are doing, only Madhavendra Puri was doing. Chanting, you know, doing service, you know, taking sandalwood pulp from one place to another place, you know, whenever he saw the deity, doing personal seva. Nothing different. But the difference is, that devotion was so strong, Krishna is crazy, crying and rolling in the ground, like Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri is in crazy, crying and rolling in the ground, and they are stealing things for each other. Krishna is stealing condensed milk, ghee rice and giving to him. Madhavendra Puri is going and begging someone and running and, you know, going through all those Muslim governments. So you heard that, you know, how much difficulty they would have gone through, you see. And it's like a next. I mean, like you cannot. It's like the the ability of having that happiness and bliss is so crazy. It's like the power of Krishna consciousness is that what you saw now. That's the stage you can hit. You see. But imagine for what we are using Krishna consciousness. Pennies and copper and bronze. What is that? All pennies and all these things, you know. Give me money, give me honey, all this stuff. You cannot even compare these two together, you know. Here is a pure holy name and service. You are like, God is gonna be crazy after you, and here I am crazy after everything other than God, you know. But using the same product, which is holy name, devotional service, association. Same product, downgraded use, you know. But the same product, such an upgraded use by pure devotee like Madhavendra Puri. And hence you can see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna was so pleased. Was like, he is an national ecstasy of Madhavendra Puri. He made sure Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will appear in this parampara. He will appear where Madhavendra Puri appeared. You see, he made sure that will happen. So that is the power of Madhavendra Puri. His love of God was so strong, God himself appeared in that lineage. You know, who doesn't want God in your family, in your lineage? Anyone wants? Everyone will stand first in the queue, you know. But God will not come because he knows that if I appear in this guy's family, he will go and make me brainwash and make me work in Google, Microsoft, and maybe some other place, you know. I appear in his house, he will go and make me go work like anything for 1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds. I would not appear. So Madhavendra Puri's lineage is like that, where God himself was hankering to appear. He was begging to appear, you know. That is the devotion of pure devotee. It's very important, you know. So human life, Prabhupada explains, I was hearing today morning that human life is not meant only for paying bills and taking care of family. And Prabhupada was explaining in the lecture today, he was saying that the current civilization has become so much brainwashed that just paying bills and having a decent house, kids who are nicely studying, good education. If someone has that, the current civilization has brainwashed people that if someone does, his life is a success. You know, nice job, nice house, nice children who are studying very nicely, and they can produce many children, and they can have good house, and again, same cycle. The more it is there, the more he is successful. That is the parameter of success. The civilization current civilization and leaders have brainwashed the world like that. And Prabhupada is explaining, that's nothing different than animals, you know. We have heard that many times, right? but even animals do the same thing. So Prabhupada is explaining the same thing. Even animals do the same thing. But he was explaining that, but human life is not for that. He was saying human life can do that, but you cannot get what you say. You cannot be satisfied with that. That is just to get the life going. But the satisfaction is like what you see here, what Madhavendra Puri was doing. You see, which is to be absorbed in love of God, and then by which the God Krishna himself will be coming after you. That's why Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you don't try to go and see God, don't go and harass him, but you behave in such a way, God will be standing and want to see you. So that's what happens here. And that's why Prabhupada was very particular in making sure many of his disciples and his followers follow in the footsteps, that don't get satisfied just to live your daily life. That's not the game if you are practicing Hare Krishna devotee, because the opportunities are what we saw here right now, what Madhavendra Puri had, what Srila Prabhupada had. You all know Prabhupada's life history. So what Prabhupada did, his disciples, what they did. So like this, that is the potential growth factor. We all look for that, right? Imagine we all study in a career. For example, the other day I was talking to someone, they're saying, hey, why can't you do this? They're saying, Prabhu, what is my future? What is my career growth? What will I achieve? How much will I make? How big can I become? They're saying, oh, very good. You are thinking nicely over the future. Now, when we take the Krishna consciousness, I've not heard anyone till today saying that, Prabhu, what will I get? What is the growth? How much will I go further? No, the conversation is, will this solve my problem? You see, all the usual problems, right? We're not thinking, what's my limit? Where will I go? Is this the limit? Can I achieve it? How can I achieve it? We do that for our career. We do that for our house, maybe. Other day, someone was buying a house, planning to, I think in another 10 years, this will be 3 times more money, 2 times more money. This location, very good. Now 500K, later 750K, no doubt at all. We are always brainwashed to think what is the potential growth. But when it comes to Krishna consciousness, no, bro, you don't think what is the potential growth. You think, will it pay my bills? Will it pay my this, that, the usual question. Okay, so it's very important. We need to rewire our thought process, that it's important one should understand the potential growth, what Krishna consciousness can really give me, and we should aim for that, not go for the other bits and pieces which we have. It's okay to do, and it has to be done anyway, because we are, as a family householders, has to do certain things. But the potential is not that. Potential is what Madhavendra Puri, Srila Prabhupada's disciples experienced. And that's what we should aim for. And that should be our gold standard. Gold standard, the ideal standard. Generally, our gold standard is someone who is not chanting, who is like someone below us practice. When I ask someone, I'll say this and finish, okay? I ask someone, so you like to preach? Because we have some programs, new locations coming. Oh, where is it, Prabhu? It's a little far. Don't worry, you can do even Zoom if you like. Okay. But that devotee, which devotee? The other devotee, he is also having kids. And he also doing 11 plus almost. And the same job only, but they are not doing. Why do I need to do? Saying that his life is different, your life, why are you comparing? No, I need to think about it. I'll talk with my partner and come back. So, okay. Saying, hey, why are you comparing with that devotee? I will tell you another devotee. Same 2 kids, same job, but they are doing something else more. Can I compare that? He's saying, no. They are senior devotees. Hey, what? So you don't want to compare with senior, you want to compare with junior. Huh? So this is where we stand. We always like to go the easy version. I'm saying, I'll tell you another one. That guy is making more money and he's more famous also. He's very nice. You should follow that person. Saying, no, he's a senior devotee. No, I'm very junior. So like that, we box ourselves. So naturally, no growth. Why do you think Krishna have to be mad after us? So you can answer your own question, you see. So in that way, try to a little bit, change your belief system. Okay, so change your belief. The final conclusion is this, how, now you may think, how do I do this? It's simple. You need to change your belief system, your identity. We all of us have, programmed our belief and identity. We identify ourselves. I am this. I'm a father of 2, mother of 3, or whatever, and I am from this place. I am this. I am that. You have created an identity, and that identity you have chosen some 5-6 people who are basically doing what you want, which is chilled out practice of Krishna consciousness. You have put all those definitions of, okay, if someone has this kind of personality, and whoever is they are practicing like this, you made their definition of your own definition of that identity, and you like to be identified with that. Now, if I say, no, I have someone, same identity, but they do something else, they do better. Can you want? No, I want this only. Okay. So what happened? I have created my own identity. I have created my own belief system. No Prabhupada Paramahamsa can change us. Why? Because I made the decision. I am going to be stuck here only. So you may hear and do anything you like. Growth is impossible. You see, that's why they say, you can wake someone who is actually sleeping. You cannot wake up someone who is acting as if he's sleeping. You know this story? In my hometown, they say this many times. So it's very difficult. That's why you cannot identify yourself but showcase as if you are a devotee. It's very difficult to change. So you need to disassociate from that identity, disassociate from that belief, and you need to reframe your thought process, reframe your belief, reframe your identity, and associate with that or connect with that identity and belief, which is the new higher version of it. Then you will see a lot of enthusiasm, energy will come because you're identifying yourself with something. And you will be inspired. I want to move now. What are the behaviors I should change? What are the capabilities and skill sets I should learn? I will move forward. You understand? So you need to go to the root, which is figure out what is your identity, what is your belief, try to change it by connecting yourself with another set of people who has a similar identity but a different belief. That person's identity, that person's belief would be, I want to be pure devotee. Another person's belief would be, I just want to pay my bills. So you need to disassociate from here, associate there. Then naturally you will be inspired. You will like, oh, now I want to be different because I can see the way they think, act is different. I need to change. I need to learn these things, and I will become like that. So it's very simple. We need to put some effort to not be attached to our identity and belief, and change our basic belief system. Then it's possible. So you need to think along those lines, but otherwise, if you are attached to the same identity and belief, right, you may chant how many other rounds you want, do many association. The growth will be very slow, if not literally insignificantly small. That's why many of you, including me always think, why am I not growing? I'm chanting 16 rounds so many months, years, and this and that. I'm not feeling any different, It's not because of the problem with the process. It's because my anchor is put in a wrong place, I need to change it and put it in the right place, then naturally you will move. So that basic shift should happen. You will see a lot of change. So little bit sit down alone, think yourself, you sit down, take a notebook, okay? Sit down alone, no disturbance for 10 minutes, 30 minutes or whatever. Take a notebook and think, with whom I identify, what is my belief? What do I believe in? What is Krishna conscious to me? Why do I chant Hare Krishna? What is the reason I'm doing service? What do I want to achieve? You're writing, what are my beliefs? What is making me do my service? And when you understand what are your beliefs, and then you need to write down, what do I identify myself as? Do I identify myself as a devotee of Krishna, or maybe I am, I identify myself as a grahastha. I identify myself as a Bengali. I identify myself as a South Indian. What do I identify myself as? You understand? If you identify yourself as a grahastha, and that is the number one, you don't identify yourself as a devotee, then I will think like that. You see? But if you identify yourself as something else, as a devotee, or something else which makes you move forward, then naturally your belief will change. Oh, I'm a devotee now. Imagine, for example, I don't know, there are many things you can choose. Okay, what are the things I should do? Oh, devotee means they follow the instructions of Prabhupada. Oh, okay, so what are the things? How do I change my belief? So naturally it will change. You need to take, slowly understand and write. Then you'll see a change in your thought process. Okay? Thank you very much. And it's 9:30. Another meeting also. Jai Srila Prabhupada Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hare. So today I saw like 100 odd devotees were there, but I think we need to mixture of central and decentral, isn't it? Not many devotees from all the circle joined, so we need to mix it up. So devotees from other circle join, and it's more so that everyone joins. Maybe in alternative, alternative months or something. Maybe next one we do decentral, the one after central, like that. Otherwise, many devotees are not able to join. Maybe wrong identity, belief, I don't know. Problem. So maybe just a little bit to change things. Okay, so what else? Anything else? Obviously, I finished. Anyone wants to leave, can leave. But what? Anyone has anything to say? Close. We saw many Bengalis and devotees from France, Italy. I believe I was hearing that. I don't know who joined. I didn't see anyone here, but I heard Yamunesvari was saying today morning. So I think English may not have been a big help for you guys. It's all Bengali. What is it? Anyway, my English is normal only, but in terms of maybe understanding, I'm not sure.
Sometimes you can talk Bengali, Prabhu.
Sometimes I can talk actually, and but I know only one word. I can say the same word every 5 minutes, maybe. But they may not understand that. Maybe you should, maybe in the Zoom, we create different rooms and then, they create go in different room and they can translate like that. That kind of thing can happen, isn't it?
You can use for Google commentary pros.
Google?
Google commentary. So change the translation, use the same time so you can do the both.
Sounds very interesting. They'll think it's some strangest Tamil version of Bengali talking here. But I don't think there's a room or something. I don't know. So you can translate stuff. Okay. So if nothing from anyone, we can move forward. Vivek Prabhu, we close it.
Yeah, thanks Prabhu for such a nice session, because earlier when we started in the morning, we were a bit late due to arranging all the devotees. But yeah, I saw that the maximum there were 120 devotees joined.
120? Oh, okay.
So and the latter few dropped, and now I can see in the last 80, approximately 79.
Yeah.
There. It was nice to have the central program, Prabhu, because
yes.
By this, at least we can know to each other, because central program happens after 4 months or 6 months, then we forget who is devotee from which.
Yeah, it's nice to have. I don't know, there should be some, maybe you guys need to talk in a service committee. You need to talk and see how to get from every circle, many of the guys join, I can see it's, I can see many circle missing in large numbers here actually. So maybe this is something you guys can meet in the next Mangala, they have a conversation in a meeting and see how we can increase it.
Yeah. So we will talk to that.
Hare Krishna, Avin Prabhu. Today is Sivilan birthday. I would like a quick darshan, Prabhu, from Jagannath house.
Oh yeah, I'm upstairs though. Yamunesvari maybe can.
Okay.
Yamunesvari can have another phone. Maybe if Yamunesvari is there, she can switch on. Because mine is laptop. I can't show. It's upstairs mobile.
Very well. Thank you.
We'll do that shortly. Yes, Yamunesvari will do that soon.
And also, just a small announcement for you. So next week we have a Central Japa Marathon.
Yes.
So that will be also next central program we have.
Yes. Oh, that's an important one. Yeah. So we're gonna see next month from now on, Japa Marathon will not be simply come roll the beach as much as you can and chill out and go around. We want to make sure Japa Marathon day we're doing nothing. So including all our meeting, we're switching all the things off, and we're gonna make it as a 64 rounds Lakpati Japa Marathon. So it's gonna be like we all do our best in terms of doing 64 rounds once a month, just once a month, 64 rounds, and that is, it's coming on Ekadasi day also, which is good. So how are we going to do, this whole 8-hour Zoom will go like 2-hour slot. Each slot of 2 hours will be facilitated and headed by a particular circle. Okay, so what will happen? For example, I don't know who is what, but imagine the first one is done by Ilford, imagine, for example, right? Next week. So what will happen? Maximum devotees should go in, should switch on their video, chant nicely the 2 hours, just that Ilford circle for 2 hours. And then imagine the next 2-hour slot after that is Bengalis, for example. Then they should all switch on the video and sit. See, because it's a bit difficult, 64, everyone switch on the video for 8 hours, right? You may walk and chant, do something. So at least 2 hours you sit down and chant in front of the computer with everyone. So it's nice. But the remaining time you chant in your own style. But our goal is to do 64 at least once a month. And we do it as Japa Marathon, and obviously all that will come under, we'll offer that as a prayer like that. So, because, I think that is the original reason behind chanting Japa Marathon, is to chant as many as possible once a month. So we really feel, we really feel the power of holy name once a month at least, because remaining days, we know now what happens. So let's not talk about that. So at least once a month when you chant 64 rounds, it's so amazing and nice. You will have a good experience. I'm sure each one will have your own experience. That will inspire us.